bandwidth to support it.
You're live.
You're live. All right. Actually, the bandwidth does seem to be working currently. There's nobody on yet, so we got to wait. Nobody is showing up yet.
Well, maybe nobody will show up.
If they don't, that's all right
turn
too.
Around, so you got that sunset in the back.
Right, I can flip it around. Show them. We've only been on 26 seconds, so, and your head's in the video.
I was going to try to unwrap it.
There's Frank.
Ask a question, Frank.
Watch now, live now. Rosebud's Travels.
Yeah. Are you looking on your phone?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can hear it.
There'll be
I'm
feedback.
watching. Does anything tell you that I'm on?
Hello from Virginia. KS is on.
All
right
right.
here. All right. Glad you could join us. We have Katie is here. And Deb. There's Deb. And there's Frank. And we're at Wolf Creek Park. And we just finished up our install party for closets. So if you have any questions of any kind of Casita questions or camping questions or closet questions, just ask away.
You got an echo there on Frank, so you want to...
No, I don't. That's because he has his phone. Because he has his phone on. Linda from Massachusetts, hello. I'll ask away. This is our first live stream, and we wanted to try and see if this is going to even work. We didn't know if the bandwidth was going to support it. It obviously looks like it is. Frank's there. Katie and are over there. So ask away.
Showing the sunset.
Yeah, we have a great sunset here on the lake. I'll show you what the sunset looks like on the lake. See, isn't that pretty?
Oh, beautiful.
Have a great sunset on the lake. So if y'all have any questions about closets, about anything, added anything new with a Casita? Well, we're doing the closets now. And the latest addition to our Casita specifically is we added a lithium battery, a battle-born lithium battery, and a inverter. We have a 1500 watt inverter, which will allow us to boondock and have some additional battery power. So that's the latest addition.
Don't forget the hatch.
What?
The hatch to the water tank.
Oh yeah, and we also ordered the hatch for the water tank. It's like a marine type hatch, and that video is going to come real quick. Linda says, "Do you got room for me?" What does that mean? Or do you want to come along? I'm not sure.
KS
and KS, she's hoping to buy a Casita when husband retires from the military. Yeah. How are they in the heat and cold? Well, I tell you what, I'll let you ask an ex-guy, which is right there.
43 years with the Army, so 20 as a active duty and 23 years as a Department of Army civilian, retired from both. And as far as the heat and cold, I will tell you that this air conditioner on these units will freeze you out, and that little furnace will cook you out. I don't think there's any danger in most climates of freezing your water in colder climates, except for extended periods. There's some things you can do to prevent that, but for the most part, you can get sub-freezing temperatures overnight and not have a problem. It's just disconnect your hose so it doesn't freeze up, and you've got onboard water that's sufficient for the evening, for the night, and then when it thaws out in the morning, you can fill it up again. But comfort-wise, there's no problem, no issue.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. I think there's not a problem with temperature. I mean, we're in Texas, and we're at a campground on a lake in Texas, and our summers
High
are
90s.
yeah, it's getting into the 90s, and it's doing fine. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I hope that answers your question. Can you guys hear us well? Is it breaking up or is it coming across well? Let us know how we sound.
So Linda Kopek says, have you considered a couple of solar panels, even portable ones, when you boondock?
Yes, Linda, we actually do have a portable ZAMP suitcase panel. We have the 140 watt. I believe Frank has the 230 watt one.
Correct.
Yeah,
I got the big one.
yeah. So KSS sounds great. Good. That's great. That's good to know because our bandwidth kind of has been fluctuating a little bit, but it's looked like it's happened to be working well right now. Y'all have any questions for Katie about any organizational stuff, anything like that?
You can need to further add with boondocking. We boondocked in the Chisos Basin in Big Bend and did just fine. As far as solar went, it worked great. Didn't run anything really that consumed a lot of electricity, but it did fine. And and now with the new lithium battery, we're expecting to be able to even use an instant pot. That's one of our goals, is to try more cooking with the instant pot. And so there's a few things we're going to be trying when we boondock. We haven't taken it out and given it a good run through yet. So Linda says, so I've watched your videos on storage and love your ideas. Thank you. I'm always working on new ways of maximizing storage and figuring out good ways of making things fit better. So,
She says, do you use the bathroom in your trailer?
I use the bathroom in our trailer. I mostly Navy shower though, because I don't want to fill the tanks up when there's a few days between when we can dump or not. But that's why we got the Casita, because that way I wouldn't have to run across the campground to a bathroom. So that's why.
Exactly.
That was the reason we got this. So yes, I use the bathroom.
Yes, that's true. And yeah, I would agree with that. Katie uses the bathroom most of the time, and I have too, mostly. Although at this campground, I've been showering here to save water, and this campground is empty, so there's no one in the bathroom. So it worked out really good.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Well, wait a second. There's someone in the bathroom. There are many spiders and other bugs.
Hey,
Crickets.
they're daddy long legs and crickets. You know,
Yeah.
It depends on if you're
Yeah.
friendly with those guys.
But they're in the bathrooms.
They don't bother me.
Not a fan.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't talk Katie to go into the bathroom because, of the daddy long legs and the crickets. But yeah, if you can kind of work around those guys, the bathrooms they have actually, because no one is here, they have plenty of hot water. So it
Yeah.
is actually really nice to take a long shower.
Yeah.
Not a fan either. What? You don't like crickets and
I
daddy
don't
long
like
legs? Okay.
spiders and snakes.
Okay. Okay.
That's all I'm
No,
saying.
that's fine. I mean, no, it's whatever you can take. But yeah. Do you have any comment about bathrooms, Frank?
No,
No. Have you used them here?
yes,
A little.
a little. I have not showered in. I shower in the casita,
Okay.
but when I'm out walking the dogs or something, of course we don't take the dogs in there, but occasionally you go in and use the restroom when it's convenient. But we use it in the casita as well, so
Right.
just kind of six of one, half dozen of the other, and
Right.
I use the
And,
bathroom in the casita most of the time.
yeah, we do.
How about you, Deb? You have an opinion?
Well, the campgrounds vary.
Right, they
You
do.
know, some are really clean and good,
Right,
and some are awful.
right,
So it kind of depends on the campground and the cleanliness.
right,
Yeah.
But you can't beat having your own bathroom
right.
in a casita.
Yeah, and this particular campground is their pit toilets with a vacuum deal that kind of vacuums the fumes away. So they're for a pit toilet, they're fairly pleasant in a way. In a way,
There you go.
they're less smelly than most pit toilets, so they're good for that. But yeah, so this is an Army Corps of Engineers campground, and that's the way this one is set up. So let me see, I'm there.
I do want to talk about a cool thing.
Talk about a
So-
cool thing.
So
Okay.
this campground has lots and lots of gnats and bugs, and at night, so there's a lot of biting things. And what we are using to help keep that under control is this nifty device, and there's a number of versions of it. It's called a thermocell, and it is really cool because it has this little pad that you slide behind a screen, and then it has a butane cartridge in it, and it lights and it heats up and evaporates the, I guess it's pyrethrums that
Right.
are the little square is soaked with, and it can has a radius of what, like 10 feet or
Or
something like that.
15 feet.
15 feet.
I think 15.
At any rate, we have it sitting down here on the floor by our feet, and when we sat down before we turned it on, there were bugs everywhere
Little
in the
gnats.
air, little gnats, and they have cleared out.
Right,
Highly recommend
right.
this nifty device. Frank and Deb have one that's called a patio one, right?
Patio version.
It's a
the larger
patio
one.
version of this. It has a nice little stand, and it's attractive. It's doesn't look like army green or anything, but it works on the same principle,
Yes,
and it
yes.
works really
Right.
great.
Right,
So really like this thermocell.
right. So there you go.
There you go, an ad.
Any other questions? Comments? Question for anybody?
Are there 11 people on?
We need people to ask questions.
So why don't you talk a bit about this park?
Meaning
Well,
you, Eric, you're the one that had the idea. So
okay. Well, Lewis picked the park.
yeah,
We were planning on doing some closet installations, and he wanted to do a closet install party, and so we picked this park. We've never been to it before. They did have some high water, not while we were here, but apparently up until last week. And the park this is the Thursday before 4th of July. And up until this evening, the park was not crowded at all. It was there were only maybe 5 or 6 people camping here, and it's a nice sized park. Um,
Oh, it's a big park.
uh, there is a bit of a problem with Argentine ants, but we've managed to keep that under control.
Right.
And but the scenery is just lovely. There's somebody says, I'm picking up my
New Casita in a few weeks. Any advice for the trip back to Indiana?
ah
You have any advice about you, Frank?
back
Okay.
to the trip.
My advice for a trip back to Indiana,
First
Um,
should be here.
the first night, you need to plan to stay somewhere close to the factory. It's not uncommon for something to not quite be right or to have questions about your casita that you need to answer after you've spent your first night. For us, our thermostat didn't work. We had a fan, but it wouldn't cool. So we took it back in. They replaced the thermostat and everything was good. But you don't want to be too far away from the factory in case something is wrong. Then you can just go back. Uh, they are very, very good about taking a brand new customer in, getting that problem fixed, and getting you back on the road right away. They're real good about that. With our thermostat, it took less than 45 minutes, I think, to have them take it back there, diagnose it, replace it, and get us on the road. So, highly, highly recommend you plan your first night somewhere near uh, the factory there in Rice. Your choices, there are a couple of lakes. This one
Is one of them.
is one of them,
Lake
Navarro
Navarro.
Mills Lake. The other one is Bardwell Lake. They both have several COEs, Corps of Engineer campgrounds nearby. Some people stay in American RV Park there in Corsicana to the south. Both this lake is to the west of Corsicana. Bardwell is to the north of Corsicana. So you have different choices where to go. But that's my first recommendation: stay close to the factory the first night.
Right.
You want to get your propane tanks filled too.
Yeah, and you must get your propane tanks filled first.
3:30.
Yeah. One of the things that Debbie and I do, we try to abide by the 3:30 rule as much as possible when traveling long distance across country. So the 3:30 rule is you stop by 3:30 in the afternoon, or you go 330 miles, whichever comes first. So we try to plan our trips in those increments. That's a decent amount of driving to get from point A to point B, um, and yet you're not overburdening yourself, getting too tired trying to drive too far in a day. So we stick by the 330 miles. Some people have other rules that they use, but that works seems to work well for Debbie and me.
That is a good rule of thumb. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, we don't like traveling long distances, really long distances any longer. The other thing I would like to mention about the Army Corps of Engineers parks, if you have the uh, America is Beautiful,
America the Beautiful Pass.
America the Beautiful Pass for seniors. Oh, there you go. It looks like that. And if you have that, and I call it the geezer pass, but if you have it, it gets you 50% off camping at any of the COE parks. So that saves you money on camping. So that's my tip for that. And then you have something?
I do. I have another trip for when you're driving, especially the first day. Make sure you have your meals planned, and unless you're gonna stop and buy some fast food or something, um, plan something simple for the first night, especially because you're gonna have a lot to do and you're gonna be kind of tired. In the heat like this, you might want to do like a chicken salad or a tuna salad or something
Something
light and cool that's real easy to fix. And if it's chilly, then you might want to do something like a grilled cheese sandwich, or just something that's easy to cook that doesn't require a whole lot of preparation, um, or cleanup, because you got enough to do and you don't want to do too much. Deb, do you have any thoughts about that? Or
No, I don't.
Okay.
so,
Okay.
but yeah, plan your meals ahead a bit, and have and make it so that you can be flexible if you want to as well, so you can uh, switch back and forth between meals. But something simple the first night will make you feel like you've accomplished something. Everybody's fed, everybody's rested. So,
Okay. I think Frank wants to add something.
Yeah, I was particularly thinking about the folks coming from a long distance. Um, there are a couple of opportunities here in Texas that aren't available in the other parts of the country, that you may want to consider building into your timeline before you go back up to home. The first, of course, being Katie's Casita closets, and having the closet shelves installed while you're in Texas. You can look at that at katiescasitaclosets.com. The second one is you might want to plan a trip to Little Home on the Road, just northwest of Fort Worth, Texas, in a little town called Haslet, Texas, Haslet. And they also are littlehomeontheroad.com, all one word. And they do all the mods that you could ever imagine on a casita. So those are two opportunities that you have in Texas that you might want to consider before going all the way back home. So I think that was it. All right.
Okay.
if you need a oh shoot,
What?
trailer, the hitch.
Oh, the hitch.
The hitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about a hitch?
Okay. Katie just reminded me there's a third opportunity here in Texas that if you're considering putting a hitch on the back of your casita, say to carry some bicycles or a light trunk or something like that, there is a fellow over in Bryan, Texas, Doug Krebs, who has a company called Casita Works. And he has a Facebook page, Casita Works. And he makes absolutely the best hitches on the market out there for casitas. They are handmade, hand welded. His welding is perfect. They're powder coated for durability and long lasting. And Doug does real good work.
Ships.
And Doug also ships his hitches. So go out and find Casita Works. Learn about them, and you can either get one installed here in Texas or you can have one shipped. So that's another opportunity.
You see, Matt has his closet kit and he's ready to, he's going to install it.
All right, Matt, let us know how it goes.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah.
Send us pictures. Thank you for buying it. Yeah, we're going to have to get home and ship out some more. We've had several orders while we're up here doing these installs up here at this park.
Yep.
Yeah. Any other, do you want to say anything? No, not currently. Any other questions? Yeah, I'll show you the sunset again.
Gorgeous.
Look at our pretty sunset this evening. Isn't that cool?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the life.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. We have a great campsite.
Matt has one of Doug's hitches. Boy, Matt, you're all ready. You are prepared.
Matt, you are on top of it. Way to go, Matt.
There you go. There you go.
Excellent.
Matt's been paying attention. There you go.
We like people that do their research.
There you go. We're having a blast. I want to say that we are meeting some of the coolest people and going around installing these closets. And actually, that's one of the things. It's really a lot of fun to meet these people put in their closet, and it makes them super happy. And their their storage in their casita has multiplied by a lot, and they're just super thrilled. And I love the interaction with all the new people I'm meeting. It's real that
It
makes
is.
it really
It,
worth
it
it.
is. It is great to meet Casita folks. They're the best. I think that's the best part of the job is
I think it is.
getting to meet all these folks and getting new ideas and sharing our ideas with them. Uh, One of the things that's nice about being here in Texas is that we have a lot of customers picking up from the factory and then coming over and getting their closets installed. But the factory no longer gives the introductory tour of the casita. And so we get the opportunity to do that for them and answer all their questions. And it's just a nice way to help people and meet them, and all that is very beneficial. We're looking at space.
Yeah.
Current lead
KS,
time.
I was told by Carla the current lead time for a Spirit is 1 year, and the lead time for a Liberty or Independence was 14 months. That changes.
That information's 1 week old. Carla was over here last week.
Yeah, so I mean, and it changes practically daily because their volume has been staying up really great. Uh, Carolyn asked any tips on how to take oxidation off her 2007. I have heard that I haven't done this because I haven't had to take oxidation off a Casita yet, but I have heard that the Maguire's uh, restores. I think it's called a restoration stuff, and you do that with a buffer, and it is supposed to take the oxidation off. But like I said, I can't personally vouch for it because I haven't had to do it. We have a 2019 that's behind. This is ours behind us, and you can see the Rosebud Travels thing on the window. But
It's naked.
yeah, and it's a naked. It doesn't have any of the decals. So yeah. So I can't help you a whole lot with that. There is a lot of information on the Facebook groups where they talk about removing oxidation. So you just snagged it and it's in mint condition, but lady said it sat in Texas farm for 1.5 years.
So it wasn't washed off routinely.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, it would get oxidation just sitting in a field. That would do it. And KS asked, do you store your casita indoors? Hang on, I need to cancel my web root thing.
It's not showing, by the way.
Okay.
Oh, that is so annoying.
That is annoying.
He's got a really aggressive.
Okay. Do you store your casita indoors? No, we do not, because we can't. We don't have the casita. The 17-foot casita is over 8 feet tall, and a regular garage will not handle an 8-foot tall or an 8 foot. It's actually about 8'4", and so a standard garage won't do it. Frank does store his under roofs.
Yeah, I have a carport that I had built for the casita, and it's got 9-foot sides, and then the apex of the roof. It's 25 feet long, front to back, and 20 feet wide, so that I could put my pickup truck in there alongside it. So we've got both the truck and the car side by side under a carport.
Right. So yeah, and we live in town. We're in the middle of a big city, so it's harder for us to. I mean, I suppose we could build some kind of carport, but we just haven't done that yet. It says you just bought it and you got it home and you live in Tennessee. Okay.
Okay, Carol.
Yeah, that's great. I'm glad you were able to pick one up. Did you pick it up for a decent price? If you don't mind me asking. I know the prices are crazy right now. And I mean, if you find one that someone's it's sitting around, that would be the way to do it, I would think.
Cameras up there.
Yeah. No, I know.
Look at the
I know.
camera.
I know. I'm looking all over the screen, but yeah.
If you can store it under cover, I would.
Yeah, if you can
If you-
store it under cover, yeah.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah, if you have that capability, I would definitely do it.
Carolyn says we want to see if you have a closet kit for the 2007.
Right.
Okay.
Well, Carolyn, we are, there is a person who is bringing a casita to us.
2010, right?
No, it's a 2006
Oh.
on
That was
Sunday.
2010.
And she's going to leave it with us for a week. And we are going to measure it and we're going to make templates. And we're going to try to come up with another closet kit design for the models that are pre 2000, middle of 2013. So pretty soon we will have,
We hope we will have.
we will have things put together and have kits that you can get.
The one caveat there is that all these casitas, they start out with mold, but they are cured and finished by hand. Every one of them has slightly different measurements around the curves of the casita. So that's where we come in and hand trim our closets to fit them. So that being said, we don't know how this one that they're going to measure next week will match up against all the other years and models that they have. We do know that in the middle of year 2013, Casita moved that front wall forward 5 inches to make a smaller hallway but a larger closet. We don't know if there were any other variations through the years before that 2013 change. So there may be some slight modifications we have to do down the road, but
Right.
we're going to get started on that process next week.
Right. We're going to get started on it, and then we're going to try to develop a closet system for the older units, and then hopefully that'll work out.
My thought about it, I'm kind of the one who's figuring out how it will all lay out and how it'll all work. And my thought initially is, I think, well, we won't be just selling kits and mailing them out. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to need to do a number of installs where we're doing the installs, where Frank and Lewis are doing the installs, and we're figuring out what adjustments need to be typically made so that when the time comes, assuming we can make it all work, we can mail out a kit. Our instructions will be good and useful, because it's very important, if you are going to try to do this, that your instructions be able to be clear and relatively easy to follow. That said, because all the casitas are different, the closets always require some trimming. There's just not a way around it.
No, it's not. Because of them being handmade, they're all going to be different. William Ferris said he picked up a 2021 FD in February for $24,500. I think that's actually a really good deal.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good deal to me. And then Tommy says he can't wait for shelving kits for earlier casitas. That's great. We're working on it. And Carolyn says yes, she would like to purchase too. That's wonderful, Carolyn. We'll make an announcement once we get it worked up and once we have them available.
It's not going to be next week, though.
No, it won't be next
It'll
week.
be a
patient.
couple,
Yeah.
it'll be a few months.
Yeah,
to
we're
get it
gonna-
all worked out.
We're gonna we're going to make one, and then we're going to test some in a couple of units to make sure that they actually work. And there's a little bit of a process we're going to go through to make sure that they work, because we don't want to be shipping out stuff that isn't going to work. So that's what we're kind of thinking. So that's good. Any other questions, comments, suggestions? And I'll show you, while we're waiting, we'll show you the sunset again.
It is down all the way.
And the sun's down all the way now. And there's just a little bit of light left. But the lake is pretty like that. It's really, we're in a great campsite.
I haven't seen any lightning bugs yet. But
and we see lightning bugs here too. It's great. And we're at site 16. It's a really cool site at this park. So, yeah. Any other questions?
Yep. I have to say goodnight.
Maybe not.
Okay, thank you all for.
Well, that's fine. Thank you, guys. This is our first live stream. So we just wanted to try it. We're here at the campsite and we're all together and we decided to try it. And we'd like to thank you guys for your participation. And hopefully we'll try it again and see you again. So thank you very much for your participation. Good night and have a good evening. And everybody can say good night.
Good night.
Good
Safe
night.
travels.
Happy camping.
There you go. Yeah, I did.